Damn, babe. I should just threw you forward.
Yeah, you should. You ready?
Yes, I'm just downloading the pictures you sent me.
So remember how you hurt yourself in the car? Because
Oh,
you're like this close. So you probably should be like right here.
okay.
Can you see? You want me to make it bigger? That
That's
way
what
you
she.
can check your levels as you're talking.
That's what she said. No, 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 no.
No.
You tell me if I'm talking too loud.
Well, I'll just make it bigger.
Yo, yo. Ow. This thing hit me
A
in my
pillow hit
face.
you and you say ow.
Yes, because I wasn't expecting it.
But ow.
Yes, ow.
You can't be like, ah. You gotta be
Ah!
like, ow.
Because it
How's
didn't
that?
hurt, but I have to be dramatical.
Do you
You
see
know?
yourself talking?
See, the thing is, if I talk like this, it's so that you can hear me, but then I don't know if I'm being too loud for them. But then
Mm,
if I hold it down here, I don't feel like it's
but
gonna
you're
be real.
not. You're right here is perfect.
Okay, so I'll hold it right here and I'll talk like this. Is that too loud?
No.
Over there.
What?
Is it too loud?
Closer.
How about right here and talk like this?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
If not, I'll just lean forward like this, like how I did. And then when I was like this, and when you speak, it's like hitting here and like going.
Ricochet
See,
off
I
the
got
pillow.
this down to a science.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay. And action.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Do the intro. What's wrong?
Oh. Yo, 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 what's going on, everyone? What up, what up? It's your girl, Audie, getting at you guys with another Audie's Art Struggles podcast episode. And alongside me on panel, we got Just Rap.
Boo.
They don't know that.
I think they
They
know
don't
that.
know it. They don't know that part.
I think they're picking it up.
Mm-mm. They better not. Because it's not that type of podcast.
Yeah. It's all love here.
Yes, it is. Indeed, it is. And oh my god, I know I messed it up on the other episode. Today is Saturday, September 7th, 2024. And the time right now is 9:13 p.m. And we just got back from dinner.
It was amazing.
Yes, it
It
was.
was
It
delicious.
was sampan, Chinese cuisine, not a buffet.
No,
It was so
not a
good.
buffet.
That
Where
was
is
our
it?
second time going there.
Yeah.
What?
I said, where is it?
In Mesa.
No, the box.
Oh, it's in the
The
fridge.
precious cargo. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so good. You want to tell them what we ordered?
I still don't remember what yours is called, but I got
It's
the. Oh,
oh,
go
no,
ahead.
no, no, go.
I got the orange chicken, and it comes with this weird looking sauce, or not sauce, the soup, which is what? Egg
Egg
drop
drop
soup.
soup.
Yeah.
It was so
And
good. He gave it to me. I ate it. It was delicious.
yes, they gave me a spring roll that comes with. I still don't know if it's ginger sauce or if it's. I don't know what kind of sauce it is, but on the other side of that one, there's sweet and sour, which is more sweet than sour, but it's really good. So I'm not complaining. But yes,
Yeah, I never seen anyone put that on their rice before. You put it on your rice.
yes,
I
and
was
they made
like,
it delicious. Yeah, it was good.
And the thing that I ordered, that I always order, is called chicken chop suey. And I feel like not all Chinese places make it the same, or they even know it's the same thing. Because I'm pretty sure if you were to show them a picture like, yo, do you guys have this? And they're gonna be like, no. Or
Mm,
like, or that's not chicken chop suey, that's this other thing.
yeah,
And it's like,
maybe.
well, make it for me.
Make it like this.
Make it just like this,
Uh,
how it is in the picture. But yeah, dinner was good.
yes, it
And
was.
yeah, obviously this is a art struggles podcast. So let's get into the art stuff.
Yes.
So what?
Yeah, I was gonna say
Say what?
lead up to last night.
So last night was the yesterday night, it was the exhibition. My
Yeah,
artworks being showed, displayed, exhibited at Phoenix Center for the Arts in downtown Phoenix. And I am so happy that Rob didn't go home yet, even though like he's been late trying to make arrangements. But I'm happy that he was able to stay behind and attend, because he did help us transport the pieces. And I was worried that he wouldn't be able to make the exhibition. So how was it, babe?
that was the first time I've ever been to something like that. The whole experience has been obviously, I've never done this before. I've never seen the back part of how what goes into all of this. I've always kind of been into art. I have gone to a storefront that had nothing but art, and I was always amazed by it. But I've never seen it go from a blank canvas to that, and I've never seen it go from blank pieces of wood to that. So seeing that, the steps to that, seeing how it was mentioned last night how you transported your stuff and how how well you took care of it, and then seeing it displayed there yesterday, like just even knowing that I was gonna go to something that had to do with your art being exhibited, I was like, this is kind of surreal because I never saw myself with someone that did art, like the people that I've or women that I've been with. There's I don't want to get too much into it, but
No,
they're
no, no,
not.
no. That's, I mean, that's kind of, the whole aspect of just an art podcast is a life of an artist. So
Uh,
go on.
so in my case, the women that I've been with, there was no. I don't want to say that they weren't creative. They just didn't put it to into action.
Mm,
Even if it was like with music or whatever their hobby or passion quote unquote was, I never saw it be put to work. I never saw it come to life.
mm,
So being with you when you first told me about that you're an artist, I when you said artist, I thought like music because you DJ and stuff.
yeah,
So I was like, okay, music. You're into music, which I love music. So I was like, all right, cool. But then when you showed me some of your pieces, I was like, oh, that kind of art.
yeah,
And again, I have been into it. I just don't know like all the details and all the lingo. So
yeah,
learning about all that stuff, I'm like, this is. I just never saw myself doing this or being part of it. And then I don't know how to explain it because I was gonna say it's kind of like being proud like a parent seeing their child, but it wasn't like that either. It was almost I don't know like somebody that I'm proud of and like seeing their work being displayed. Not just that, but the way you explained it to people, and then the way that people were talking about your stuff, and like you know, I was just proud of you the entire time. I honestly didn't know if we were gonna go, it had a little bit to do with me delaying my trip, but not really. Because again, I didn't know if we were going. I didn't want to like pressure you into thinking you had to go because I was still here.
Mm.
I was just like, if you want to go, I'll go. If you don't, then that's fine too. Because again, I had no expectations of like, oh, we're gonna go and
Yeah, I was
people are
kind of
gonna.
offended when you said on the Y run, you were just like, I didn't know we were going. And I was like, excuse me, what makes you think we're not going to go? Because you're here, you were a part of it, you did help me put it together. It's being displayed. Like, what makes you think that I don't want to go? Like, but no, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I guess I just kind of assumed that we weren't going because there was no. I don't think we had a conversation of like, hey, what? To me, making plans to go somewhere is like, what are we gonna wear? Or
yeah,
like, I had no.
yeah, he was so cute. He was like, should I wear a hat?
Yeah, I
like
was like,
my
should
like
I just?
my baseball cap, and I'm just like, yeah, it's casual, it's
Well,
fine. But I was kind of like that too. Like, I was just like, yo, like, I don't even know if we should dress up, but I think they would have said it was like dress code, or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. There was definitely no dress code.
Yeah, they would.
It was
Shit,
cool though.
man.
Like even that,
Man,
even though
even
like,
Kanye showed up, man. It was wild. I'm joking,
well, it
but
wasn't the real Kanye, but there
right.
was a Kanye inspired artist there. I think.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he was an artist or not, but
He probably was a fashion artist.
maybe.
Yeah.
Okay,
It was
but
interesting to me because it looked like he walked out of a video game. That's what it looked like to me. Like, he was just ready
right,
for combat somewhere.
yeah.
It's like, holy shit. Good
And
thing
I
we're
don't even know,
underground.
was it like leather? Because to me it looked like leather, but then again I'm kind of
It
blind,
had
so
leather on it,
I'm like,
but
dude, they're
yeah,
wearing this and I was gonna say Austin in Phoenix, and it's hot as shit outside.
yeah. There's people walking around in sweaters and long sleeve
Yeah,
shirts and
jackets
collared shirts
with
and
beanies, and I'm like, what? I
yeah,
understand fashion, I understand art, I
yeah.
understand like getting dressed up and wanting
But
to show
motherfucker, aren't you
yourself.
hot?
Shit, I would have passed out. I was in a black T-shirt and I was hot.
You would have been drinking all the bottled waters.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they did have drinks there, but I didn't partake.
I
Even though I
wanted
kind of
to.
wanted to, but I was like,
Yeah,
I'm just again, I'm not gonna push anything. I
yeah,
did think
right.
about us getting something on the way back home to come home and celebrate, but
Yeah, we didn't do that
we
either.
got distracted with food.
Yes, we did, as we always do.
Yeah. So
It
yeah, but
was
the
so
whole
funny, like when we seen the stuff, like my art and all of that. I know I'm kind of skipping ahead, but I just thought it was funny to bring up right now because we're talking about food. Is that we thought we were done talking with everyone and we were going back to the entrance, and I was like, we found the snacks.
yeah, we got there early enough that they weren't set up yet. Like yeah, the
Yeah,
art pieces were set up, but they weren't set up with the snacks and
the
the
drinks
drinks and stuff.
and yeah.
But yeah,
Man,
as
that
soon
was
as
good. The pepperoni was good. The cheese hit. The crackers hit. And the water, yeah, it was delicious.
well, yeah, but you hadn't ate anything since the
Yeah, I
morning.
was I was nervous, and I didn't want to eat because I didn't want my stomach to hurt or anything. But the more I was talking with the people about my art, like, the more I was feeling like I was gonna pass out.
Oh, really?
Because yeah, well, for one, I was already nervous driving there and on an empty stomach, so that's two. And then debating if we should go in there, that was a stress to me all by itself, really. And then like, getting in there, it was kind of stuffy in there, like there wasn't a whole bunch of airflow. And like, seeing an empty room, I started to get anxious because it was like, oh, so this isn't a big thing,
Yeah.
like, I was kind of feeling, yeah, like, I mean, I just not knowing, I guess. And then I was just like, okay, like, where's the snacks? And it was it wasn't in there, out there at first. And then when people started looking at my art, like, it was just nice to see people looking at my artwork again. Because I did do a lot of art shows. I was in exhibits, and like, my art has been displayed for, at different events or whatever, and it just felt really good to see that, because it's kind of been years for me now.
Yeah.
And situations, bad relationships and things like that just kind of helped me back from getting into it, and I just wasn't sure about getting back into it again. And it just felt good to see people check out my art, just kind of like stepping back. And I actually recorded a woman that was looking at my stuff, and if I'm going to post it, then of course I'm going to blur her out for her privacy. But it was just like wow, like I miss this. And it was just like I want to get back involved in it. And I talked with the woman, the organizer, and she said she's going to keep in touch, and I'm happy to hear that. I'm relieved to hear that, because I lived with this my entire life. And being in a, remember how when you brought up your past relationships, right, briefly, where you were like, yeah, they're creative but they didn't do anything with it. um for whatever reason they didn't. But like for me, like I was held back by previous relationships, because I mean, I understand if they don't understand it or it's not their thing. But it's kind of like I just allowed that to just die out. And I don't know, maybe at one time I felt like I was sick of it, like, oh, like, because remember I told you that when you and I first got together, I was like, I never wanted to call myself an artist. But now I'm calling myself an artist, and I'm embracing it. And I want to get back into that community. But this is a different art community than Native American art community. It's very, very different. Um, with the and this is just my opinion. If there's any Native American artists is listening to this, this is just my experience. You guys probably just, you guys all cling and click together. But for me, I've never I guess synced up or related to other Native American artists. But this art community, it's just like, yeah, these people are my tribe. That's what I felt like. And it was just like, yeah, this is the site that I want to be on. Because on the Native American art community side, everybody sticks to traditional art. There's nothing wrong with that. I love it. My I have family members that are all artists, and they all stick to tradition. But like for me, like I wasn't born and raised like in the community, but I was taught very well by my grandfather, who was known as the master Hopi silversmith in his time. And my father, carpentry, he was a wood carver, painter. And that's where I developed that side from. I know how to do silver work, but it's just this other art community, it just feels better to me. It's a lot more inviting, it's a lot more welcoming. As far as like, oh, we not necessarily, we don't care what kind of art that you do, because they do. I mean, if there are trash artists out there, like they would embrace it, like they're very welcoming. They want to hear your story. They are into education. With the Native American art community, we already know, like, there's nothing to educate each other on, because we already know tradition, we already know the ways that it's supposed to be. So I guess, like, syncing up and relating to another Hopi artist, we already know what it is. We're not teaching, or we're not learning anything from each other, because we already know. On the other side, with other artists from many different backgrounds and many different stories, because our stories within the Native art community, we all have the same story. We were all taught that, it was all passed down, it was all tradition. It's like, oh, my great grand person was a basket weaver, and my mother was, and her sisters were, and all my cousins, and now me, I'm a basket weaver. So it's like they all share the same stories, whereas another art community, everybody's art is just like, where does that come from? Because even though it's tradition or not, if you're a painter and if your family made shoes, it's 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 like, what's tradition about it? It could be color, it could be the color palette, it could be like wearing certain shoes in a dance. That's tradition, like a traditional dance. So it is very abstract like to me, where it's like all of us are just thrown in this pot, and it is interesting to me. And I've never seen art in person, and oh, I wish I would have gotten that person's information. But where, I don't know if you've seen it, but they had thread in their artworks.
Which one?
It was like, when you first walk in, and then it was that very first painting. It, not the comics, but it was like in a frame. And
No.
there was a purple star that was in thread, and then there was like, they painted like a face with the tongue out, but the tongue was painted, but there was like a thread that was coming out, and it went past the frame. So it was
Mm,
just like hanging. It was like a red thread. So for me, it's like, I want to know. And that's like another thing. I thought the art pieces would have like descriptions of what it means or what it is.
yeah.
And I took that as, okay, is that part of the tongue or is that blood? You know what I'm saying? But there's no
Yeah.
information on it but the price of the works.
Yeah.
But like I've seen, I'm sorry. I've seen people do like embroidery in their canvas paintings,
Hmm.
like on YouTube. I've never seen it in person. So for me, it was kind of like a wow moment. Like I was just like, wow, that's pretty sick. And I wish that the artist did a lot more thread work in the piece
Hmm.
or pieces. But it's just, like you're never gonna, well, maybe now, if some native artist is already doing that, um instead of like a basket weaving but doing thread weaving in the canvas. See, that's different.
Hmm.
And I would be down for that because it's almost like the same technique but on a canvas, wall art.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know I kind of got like way into like other stuff, but like I just like that. I just like the love. Like that's all I felt when I was there. Like I felt recognized than I ever have at then a Native American art show.
Hmm.
Um, I know I'm part of this community, but before, in other art communities, not just Native, it was almost like, yeah, this is the artist and that's their stuff.
Hmm.
It wasn't like, oh, explain what it is.
Yeah.
That was kind of like the difference.
Again, I had no expectations, so I didn't know what was gonna go on or whatever. And when we got there, and what do you call it? The host? Was she the host? The one
Yes.
that was
Yeah.
telling them everything.
Mhm.
Like right away, I heard her talking about your art, and so I started videotaping. I didn't catch her say your name, but I heard her describing your stuff to the people that she was showing. And when we went inside, and like she was explaining some part of like the other artist's stuff,
Mhm.
and then when you started talking about it, I was like, oh, she's in her element. Like, first of all, I was already proud just to hear your name from someone else. Like, oh, this is from this artist, and they said your name. And then to hear you describe your stuff and to hear you explain stuff, and I was just like, I knew that that's where you belonged, and that's what I've wanted for you. Even though, again, I've never been part of when you do shows and stuff. Like, so I don't know what goes on to it into it, but when I was there and I was just like, yeah, this is where she belongs. This is what she deserves too. Like the recognition, people wanting to know about your stuff, and like people approaching you and like, hey, can you explain this, or hey, where can I check out more of your stuff? That that's what that's what I wanted you to hold on to, because I
Mm.
know that, you know, putting the shelf together, there was times where you were, I'm not saying that you were gonna quit, but it felt like you were that close to saying, you know what, screw this, I'm not doing it no more. And I think what you did say was, if something else goes wrong, I'm done with it.
Mm, yeah.
And then so seeing it all be done, and then you explaining, and then people like appreciating it, and I was like, this is what you deserve. This is what I want for you. So yes, I was proud.
Ah,
And I
thanks,
was like, you see the
babe.
ring? Do you guys see the ring? She's mine.
Yeah, he's waving around his wedding ring.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
again, when you said about it was all love, I felt that too, and I did get a little jealous. I'm not gonna lie, because I was like, hey, you're too
When?
close. Back up a little bit there,
Oh.
buddy. Like I know you're admiring the art and the artist, but she's taken. Watch yourself. But yeah,
Mm.
you're blushing.
I am a little bit. I that's like another new experience for me too, right there. Is I've always been the artist in the relationship, and all my previous shitty partners in the past, I never got very much support. Like, it was just like, oh yeah, do that so we can have money. It wasn't like they were like, "Oh, I believe in you. I'm proud of you. Like, it's sexy what you're doing." Like, like Rob would tell me, like, "Oh yeah, you woodworking is so fucking sexy." Like, he said it.
Yeah.
I read his tweet on the previous art struggles, but I'm so proud of your bravery, babe, because I know I was mad. Like, I was mad, and you helped me, and you put all that shit aside, and you continue to help. Like, I really do appreciate it, because if it were anybody else, they would just be like, okay, if you're saying fuck it, I say fuck it too,
Yeah.
and let's just forget about it. And I think that's where the blame game would have came in. They would have been like, oh well, it's gonna be your fault.
Mhm.
Like, you never made me feel like that, and I just want to say thank you, because I really do need help at times. It does get stressful, it does get hard, especially, woodworking. Like, it's sometimes it is a two-person job. That's why I got my dad.
Mhm.
And and I don't want that to stop me. Like, I don't want to be like, oh, this is too big or too heavy for me to do, and it just makes me want to do it more. Like,
Yeah.
you just want to improve and do better and try different ways, different techniques to put something together. It does take a lot of work, because people think that art is supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be this and that. Yeah, for some artists, we've been doing it for a long time, it is easy, but we do come across art struggles. Like, we do struggle with our pieces from time to time. Like, even though it's a repetitive thing for us, we've been doing it for years. Like, there's just times where it just does, like, it just almost seems impossible, especially when you have a deadline. The deadline is where, like, all things fucking go to hell, and you already seen how many times I had to do that, the underneath fucking 5 times.
Yeah.
But um yeah, with my other previous relationships, like, it's just like, oh yeah, it's art. Art isn't shit. Just, it's important to her. I don't know why. As long as it's making us money. And, like, oh yeah, like, I'll help if it's gonna make us thousands. And they never understood that things had to be perfect, because for them it's a craft,
Yeah.
and they don't understand that this is art. It's completely different than craft. So when one person is more into it and the other person's just like, oh yeah, whatever. Like, yeah, I'm proud of you as long as it's bringing us a check. See, like you didn't treat me that way. You never made any remark. You were just like, oh, she's mad. Step aside, let her cool off. And I really like how you and my dad were trying to find solutions. Because for me, like, I just have one way of thinking because I've done it. If I done it one way for so long, any other method or way, I'm gonna be like, no.
Yeah.
And I had to let that go. I had to let that go. I'm happy that I did, and I have you and my dad to thank. So thanks. Thank you, baby.
You're welcome, man.
Hmm.
Yeah.
What did you think of everybody's art?
Well, first of all, let me touch on something that you said right
Okay.
now about the financial part of it. I've never asked you how much you sell your stuff
No,
for.
you never have.
I never asked you like, hey, how much are we gonna get out of this? That was
Mm.
never a question for me. That's not the reason why I wanted you to do the exhibition or complete your art or anything. The money to me is like,
Yeah.
yeah. So that I do wanna mention that because again, I didn't even know, and honestly, right now I can't tell you how much it was, but I didn't know how much it was going for. And when I saw it, honestly, I thought it should be higher because I was like, and I'm not trying to like pick on any other artist or anything, but for some, and I've told you, I think I told you this about a piece that we saw that day there that I was like, it just feels like it was something that was just thrown on a canvas and like, oh, we'll see. And I saw that almost, I don't want to say double the price of what yours was going for, but it
Mm.
was way more than yours. And I was like,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Oh,
And I was
shit.
just like, I don't know. Like obviously, and I don't know if it's because you're my wife or whatever, but or because of how I saw you. Not,
Like
I don't
how
want to say,
hard I
yeah,
worked on it.
I don't
Yeah.
want to say it was all a struggle because it wasn't. But y- I'm gonna feel that you deserve more than that. And so when we were checking out the other people's art, yeah, I appreciated the art. There was some pieces that I was just like, how? Like that's crazy. Like the one with the cactus and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. Like I heard the description when she was saying like, oh, if you look closely, you'll see names of cities and stuff.
Yeah.
So when I checked it out, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then the bear was kind of cool too.
I saw that
Obviously,
you took a picture of the bear, and I was like, "Aw, I know why it's for our babies."
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was some pieces there that I was just like, it's crazy again to think it starts with a blank canvas and it ends up being this. Like, or it doesn't even start with a blank canvas. It starts with the artist's imagination.
Mm. Like what they visualize,
Yeah,
and like taking that out of their mind and putting it on a canvas is
yeah,
amazing. It is.
yep.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite piece that was from a different artist?
Um, well, obviously, I took a picture of the bear one. That one, that one was cool. I saw it up close. I think there was some that I didn't get a chance to see up close. Or honestly, being 100% honest, they really didn't grab my attention. It was the
Mm.
ones that were like towards the corner on this wall.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
don't even remember what those were.
Yeah.
So,
It
obviously,
was it was honestly, it was kind of hard to look at. And I wasn't sure if it was the paintings themselves or if it was the man that kept walking around in back of me. And I was like, I felt like I was in his way. So I would
mm,
move out of the way, but it was like I just wasn't drawn to that area either.
yeah, yeah, it wasn't either. So I don't remember those, but
Yeah,
um,
they were quite small pieces.
yeah,
And they were up high. So it was like, okay, like I feel like I can't get too close to it. But
yeah.
yeah,
The
I
comic
get it.
one, that one was cool. Well, there was some, right? We had like three of them,
What?
two or three comic ones.
What?
The comic ones,
There was three of them.
three of them.
Yeah, we met the artist,
Yeah,
and he was very very nice. And yeah, I won't get too much into the conversation, but he was very intrigued of the tribe that I come from. So we he took us aside and we were just talking or whatever, and really cool dude. And
Yeah.
he had another place to get to. I wasn't sure if it was like another art scene or if it
Yeah.
was like another, almost like a we can't say mic drop, but
I
like
think that's what it was called, no?
I checked his stories this morning and it kind of seemed like, I don't know if he was like a music artist as well, but we were supposed to go to that event because he did invite us, but man, traffic was crazy getting out of that place,
Yeah.
and I could only imagine parking. So I hit him up and I was like, hey, we couldn't make it. It was very nice to meet you, things like that. So very cool dude. But yeah, like his pieces on the wall was very Marvel inspired, like superhero, and he just had like there was a phrase that he put on his painting, said Spidey senses. I thought that was super. Oh, excuse me. I thought that was super cute. Um, but yeah, I like the one that looked like a comic book because he put the barcodes on there.
Yeah.
That was really cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, but very cool dude. And yeah, I'd like to attend more of his events in the near future. And then there was another gentleman that he was the very first one of the very first ones that complimented my art. And he's a poet.
Yeah.
So he straight up asked me for my IG, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, well, here you go. And give him my IG. And yeah, so we were taking a break, right? Like we took our little snacks,
Yeah.
and we attended the what is it, the
I don't know if it was
stage.
open mic or
Oh yeah, it
mic
was
drop
open
or
mic
something like that.
something.
Yeah.
And we watched that guy that asked for my IG. He was on stage, and
He did
yeah,
poetry. It
very
was cool.
very deep. Yeah,
Yeah.
both of them.
Yes.
I
And then
liked it.
Audie was trying to tell me to get up there on stage. I'm like, no,
Yeah, I
I'm
did. I
still.
did. I wanted him to because if you listen to the White Room podcast, Rob does have a lot to say, and things like that. So it's open mic. You can it's just is they just tell you to leave out the profanity.
Do you think
Which
I'm getting better at that?
what
Like not cussing as much?
when I first met you, you never did. And then I felt like I was a bad influence, and then now I think you're like checking yourself
I'm
a
not
little bit more now.
purposefully trying to check myself. I just noticed last night that when I talk, I don't cuss as much. Yes, I do say that's what she said, and yes, I know it's inappropriate sometimes, but
Being
yeah.
gross. Being gross.
But as far as like dropping f bombs and stuff like that, I try not to. I try and be
Yeah.
professional.
Yeah, I noticed that when we first met, like he wasn't. That's why I felt like I had to watch what I say around you in the very beginning. That's why I was
Well,
like, yeah, he's not gonna like me if I keep cursing.
remember, I was still involved in that program that I was in,
Yeah,
so with them, I really had to focus on not cussing.
yeah, yeah.
So I
I'd
had
like for
some
you to get
practice.
back into that.
Yeah,
We gotta discuss that a little bit more, maybe.
yeah.
Because, I mean, if you get back into that, then me getting back into the art community and, helping the youth and the elders and things like that. Hey, yeah.
Yeah,
And you getting back to the youth, that's important.
yeah.
But, and you want to get into very fast, where we were chatting it up with someone out out there, and then next thing you know, everybody's turning their heads towards me,
Oh yeah.
and
So
I was like,
We went to that. It was another room. I don't. It wasn't an auditorium. It was where the stage was at, where the mic stuff was at, where the open mic was at, and when we came back to the gallery, we were I don't know if we were gonna go get more snacks. Like honestly, I didn't know what was going on. I just
Yeah.
know that I heard somebody talking, but he was talking really low, and I don't know if that's a confidence thing or since it was a kind of small room, they just thought, oh, everybody's gonna be able to hear me. But I did hear people talking, and when we got there, I saw that there was an artist that was explaining stuff. I'm assuming his art, and then everybody, or there was people, there was a crowd around them that were listening, and I didn't hear what they said. I All I heard was artist, and then everybody turned around towards us, and I was like, I pointed at Audie. I was like, nope, not me, it's her. And then the artist had a name tag, so of course everybody saw her name tag, and they were like, oh. And I was like, they're calling you, or I don't know, cause have you told them that your ear problem?
Ear cheese. You guys know about my ear cheese, right? No idea. But yeah, my left ear I can't hear very well.
Yeah, so I don't know if it was that she got caught off guard or she couldn't hear them. But when they all turned around, I was like, "They're looking for you." And then she was like, "Huh?" She
Oh
looked
my
at me
god.
like, "What?" And I just kind of, I don't know if I not pushed you like, "Oh, get your ass in there," but like nudged you in there like, "Oh, it's her, she's the artist." But
Everybody was looking at me and it was a crowd.
yeah,
It wasn't just a couple of people, it was a crowd.
yeah,
That a crowd large enough to intimidate you just a little bit.
oh yeah,
Um
I would have been sweating buckets. There was no windows. There was very little air, and then all that attention plus the lights and all that. I would have just been sweating. But
I'm
yeah,
used to a crowd because first of all, I was a professional DJ. I used to dance when I was younger, the traditional Hopi buffalo dances. Um, I've been public speaking. So like, but it was cut off. I was cut off guard because I just seen everyone turn to me, and I'm just like, because
she
I,
tur- we
because
were
I turned around too. I was just like, oh
yeah.
shit, somebody's coming. So I just
Our
turned
backs
around
were
and
to the
everyone turned
wall, and I
around.
was like, "They're looking at us," and it's her, not me. So I kind of just like nudged her into the room.
Oh my
Yeah,
god. And I
yeah,
walked in there and I was just like, Like I just walked in there and the woman, I think her name was Jasmine. She was like, "Oh yeah, well we're just talking to the artists individually to explain their work, explain who they are and so on and so forth."
yeah. I didn't hear any of that. I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, thank God they were looking at me."
And I turned to look back at you. You were way up. You were still at the back wall, and I'm
Yeah,
just like, "You
cause
ain't coming with me."
no.
Yeah, and so yeah, I just like what I do at every performance, I was just like, hey, what's going on? My name is, AudreyalKoinva. These are my pieces right here, and I came from a long line of artists, and I just I'm a talker. I'm a presenter. I know I can drag things on, but it's kind of like, okay, like I just got to get to the point, of why I do my art, why my art is important, where does that come from, and I've been doing this like all my life, so presenting my art and talking about it and talking about myself and things like that, like I've been doing that for the majority
Mm,
of my art career since I was 5 7 years old. So and a large crowd, like yeah, like you're just as a professional DJ, like you're the DJ, you're providing the music, you're the hype man, like you just gotta get everybody jumping and getting their attention, and I'm pretty good at that, like, and when I was getting into like the meaning of my art, I really did start to give that discipline. And I don't know if you heard it, but I was just like, yeah, like, like I'm trying to do my art and to educate the people that you should strive to be those things.
yeah, I heard that part.
And yeah, and you hear me say that all the time, all the time. You hear me say that, and it was my chance to say it and present it in person other than a podcast like this one or on the Y Run or whatever. And it was just like, yeah, I'm gonna get after you, like I'm gonna tell you guys that, hey, like this is what my art means. You should strive to be those things every day. We're all supposed to just be one unit, no more of this, separation, and just all come together as people, and something, I have said it on the art struggles where I said, I am a medicine woman. That's the part that I didn't expect, that I didn't know I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
And it did strike a few people, because they were just kind of like, holy shit, like this is the, she's a medicine girl. So
Yeah.
like even that, and I felt like I had to say that because it's in my art.
Yeah.
And there was a chick that pulled us aside, and she was just like, oh hey, you're a medicine person, and we started talking, and it was yeah, it was that before? I feel like that
Before
was before.
before what?
Or no, that was after, right? Because I gave that speech. But
Before or after what?
when I said that I was a medicine girl, because I feel like we were
That
talking
was
to the
after.
same
That was after.
oh, that was
You were
after.
talking to her about the art pieces, and she was like, "Oh, that's a buffalo."
Oh
Remember?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So
She
then,
she
yeah,
didn't. Yeah, she was standing a bit too close, but
yeah,
yeah, but I bet to some people it looks like abstract, like just shapes, and they're just like, oh my god, I didn't know that was a buffalo. Like, yeah, that's a buffalo.
yeah.
But
That was another moment where I was like, "Oh, she's in her element. Like, she's in it. This is what she's supposed to be doing."
and thank you for capturing those moments, babe, like of me talking to the people, and
You're
taking
welcome.
photos and shots and stuff. Like, that's really, because that's something that I never had. Like, I never had like a camera person unless it was their own staff for their own,
Yeah,
brochures and stuff. So yeah, thank you, baby.
you're welcome.
But yeah, I liked it. I liked everybody's energy, and I liked all the hugs and the handshakes and the smiles, and you know, um,
The
I wish I
conversations.
got to like really talk, because I like to talk. Like, I like to like ask questions, like, because I wanted to ask that lady. She said that she only no, I don't know if it was only, but she uses a lot of pink in her artwork, and pink was the hardest thing for me to work with.
Yeah,
And I wanted to be like, why pink? Like, what was your first works of art that was pink? Like, I just wanted to, like, really talk. And she was really nice, very beautiful, and I was just wanting to talk, and then I was wanting to talk to the comics guy, and I wanted to talk to the guy that was on stage that asked for my handle, and I wanted to meet the artist that did the cactus work, and we ended up following each other today. I don't know if I told you that, but yeah, I they tagged him in the thing,
oh
so in the flyer. So that's where I was like, oh, he's that guy. And you're right, he was the guy that was sitting by the door, and he told us good night and
yeah,
stuff. But yeah, like, it was all good feelings, man. It was all love, and I'm just like, this is the community that is right for me. I choose to be here. I choose to be in love, creative people, and peace. Like, no fucking drama whatsoever. And when you go and you look at their IGs, you don't see or feel that. You don't see and feel that, like, in their art pieces. And yeah, they may have like their own personal IGs, like I have my own personal IGs, but I'm still not displaying drama or too much of my personal life
yeah,
anymore. But like, it's just like that feels better to me. It feels more focused. It feels more stable. And that's
yeah.
why I'm just kind of like, why the fuck? do, you know, like all the people that we uh you know take, I don't want to say take, they're not really teaching us lessons, but it's more like they're the lesson. And it's like, I don't understand how they could just stay in a fucked up community, in a fucked up circle, when you, when there are places like this one. So that's why I'm just like, yeah, this
Mm,
is this is it. Like, fuck all that other shit. That shit's so easy to lose, to get away from. And this is it. Loved it.
yeah, and I think you should continue.
I
I think
will.
you should something like I've seen a couple pieces in the room. I don't know what you're planning on doing with those, or if they had like a end goal or whatever. But it's kind of sad to see them just sitting there.
It is, and that's where I need to. I don't know if you. Oh, I gotta edit them. Like, I gotta take pictures, edit them, and then throw them up there on my site.
No,
So if you guys want to see the pieces that were displayed, we're going to, let's see. They're gonna be in my newsletter. I'm probably gonna throw them up in the stories, and I'll tag the event and everything, and then you guys can see how everything was displayed. So
yeah,
I'll show that to you guys. And you know, if the pieces sell in the exhibit, I'm just letting you guys know. This is just a little promo. But if you guys would like the same pieces, I am able to remake it again with the same colors, same everything. So that's one of the benefits of the type of art that I do, is that it can be replicated,
yeah.
right? So everything's all hand done, hand painted, hand everything. So, but yeah, and if the pieces don't sell, then that's what they'll bring. They'll be giving back to us. But you can pre-order them on my website, AudreyalKoinva.com, and I'm gonna try to have some prints available. So that's something that I think I'm gonna start working on. Maybe sometime this month. I'll
Yeah.
start to working on that, on those. So, and more furniture pieces to come, because a lot of people were liking that. And that was something that I know I told Rob the other time, that, you know, people, they just don't know that the piece of furniture was a part of the exhibit.
Yeah.
And you know, I was kind of disappointed a little bit, but at the same time I was like, man, I should have just brought my own platform. That way people could have been like, oh shit, like this is an actual piece.
But where do you think that they would have put it? Because if they would have put it there, it would have overshadowed, shadowed. What is it called?
It would have
Or
overlapped the
your
paintings.
paintings, yeah, because they were longer.
That's up to them
Overshadowed.
how they would do it.
My
But
brain is not doing its job right now. Overshadowed, overshadowed,
overlayered,
overshadowed. I don't
overshadowed. Overshadowed would have been like
like well because the
it would
piece
have
is
hid
bigger.
my other paintings.
No,
Yeah, overshadowed, that's what it is. That's what you're saying. And I'm just explaining.
something.
Overcasted.
That's a weather thing, babe.
Well,
No, I'm just saying because it's a big piece. It
it
would
would
have
have
been
threw
higher
shade
up.
on my
Yes,
paintings.
exactly. It would have like taken the front of it,
Hmm.
and it would have kind of
You want
made
to know
those.
why people didn't know that was part of the exhibit? Because it was right next to a door. That's
That's
why.
why I was
That's why I
saying,
didn't like it. Was too close. They could have centered it, like you said,
yeah,
but they didn't do that. They put it right next to the fucking door.
yeah,
And I was seeing people walk in and out of that thing, and I'm just like, watch out, you know,
yeah.
my artwork's right there.
But it also was the only wood piece that was on there.
Yeah,
Everything else was
like
canvas.
it was. That was. I think that may be considered 3D art, and because canvas work is called 2D art.
Mm,
So, but you know, when I messaged the host, remember a week prior,
yeah,
she was like she saw that it was furniture, and she was like, "Oh, I can't wait till your art gets displayed."
yeah.
So I was like, "Okay, so my furniture is good to go."
Mm-hmm.
Because if not, I would have picked another canvas, but there was no other room.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
everything was taken up.
yeah, all the room was taken up. But yeah, I'm happy for that experience. I'm grateful for it. Again, the love, I'm always gonna hang on to that. Always, like all those other times that I've done art shows and I was praised and I was celebrated, and that's all that you got, and that's why um I don't fault artists when they start getting a big head, because that's as much as we get, because most artists, they kind of live with their art for a long time before it like gets sold. So big headedness, sure, but if you're gonna get a big head because you sold it, I don't think that's right. I understand that you're happy that you sold it, but come back down here with us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
And to touch on the spiritual part real quick,
sure.
we talked about the shelf. We talked about what we thought was going on with it, why there was so much struggle behind it. Um,
Mm,
I know that you said that you prayed, that you were gonna pray, and then yesterday, I think it was after we got there, and I saw it, and I was like, "Hey, you!" Like I spoke to it or whatever,
yeah.
and then I asked you if you had prayed for it.
Yes.
But I meant like in the moment, and you said you had already done that. So I was like, oh, okay, because I didn't. To be honest with you, I didn't. Not that I didn't think of the piece, but I didn't think of the spiritual part of it. Like how we were saying about like I think something was going on with it.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
think about it, and it wasn't like on my mind.
To be honest, I felt like it already has a home.
Yeah,
That's what I felt like. And it was almost like I don't want to say like it wasn't there. And not I don't want to make it sound like I too forgot that it was there and that it was art, like how everybody's like, "Oh, that's a part of the
yeah,
exhibit," and I was offended because I
yeah,
was like, "Oh my gosh, look around, look down." But um it just seemed like it was already at home and
yeah.
it was already at peace. So that's why I was like, I touched it, I rubbed my hand across it, and I was proud of it. It was almost like I was saying goodbye.
Yeah.
But not, because us Hopis, we don't really say goodbye, but it was
Mhm.
just kind of like, and then just
Yeah.
like everything's okay, like you look good, look proud,
Yeah.
like look strong, get everybody strong, like it was. Yeah, so I did, that day that we left it at the exhibit, when we transported it, yeah, it was at night that I prayed to it, and that next day in the morning
Mhm.
time, because it was like, I was actually like in the cage with it, because the gallery, it was pretty much like
Yeah.
a cage, and I was like, yeah, I was in there talking, spending time with it, and just like, I don't know what was going on, or if you were acting up or if someone was causing this, but let's be together. So it was like I was in a cage with it, and it
Yeah.
was just like, just, because well, for me, when I touch my art pieces, like it just feels good. It just feels like the paint is not even painted, it's just embedded in it,
Mhm.
like it's just straight out from the wood. So that was what I wanted to feel. Like I didn't want to feel like, oh, it was just, like a hard shell or something. That's the best way I can
Yeah.
say it. But yeah, I did make peace with it. I apologized and spent time with it. I cradled it, and just like, you're mine,
Mhm.
you belong to me, we'll always be together, like you're. And all the time that I've ever done furniture, that's the first time that the first time that I've ever done an eagle design. I never done an eagle design, because the one that I did, that was, I think I told you about it. It was a five dresser bookshelf,
Mhm.
and the closest thing to it was the owl, and that's the one where the wings were spread like this, and that the um the children's toy box that I donated to Children's Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, and people were like, "Oh my god!" When I said, "Yeah, I spent like 16 plus hours on the line work
Yeah.
because I had to do it like 2 or 3 times."
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, would I do it again? Yes, happily. But man, no deadlines though.
Yeah.
No deadlines. If you throw me a deadline, I'm a fucking spiral out of control. But and that's another thing I would really like to ask the other artists is, like, were you pressured, or were your pieces already done and ready to go, or was this something like, because when we talked to the comic guy, he was like, "Oh, I had to make something that was family friendly."
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was like, "Okay, so you got accepted and you're like, "Holy shit, like I got to like make something or like finish it."
Yeah.
But, if you're an artist, like, drop it in the comments. Oh, and it just changed, and I seen it though. I seen it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, ting, 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 ting,
Dang,
ting,
dang.
ting. Yeah, your phone was like, "Oh, he's picking me up to look at Audie." 10, 11.
Yeah.
I saw it though. Mm. But yeah, that was a fun time,
Yeah.
and I hope you enjoyed yourself.
I did. I did.
See the community that I come from.
Yeah, I still don't see myself up on the stage, so don't even think about it.
Yeah, I get it. I understand. But I do want you to continue with your writing
And I
and
want
your
you to continue with
storytelling.
your stuff so that next time the opportunity comes up, because it will, I don't want you to feel rushed, and I don't want you to feel like,
Oh my God, I'm just gonna come out with works.
yeah.
When my dad brings back the air compressor, I think I'm gonna finish spraying the other paintings because I think on one of the paintings I ran out of varnish.
Mm-hmm.
So that one has to be refinished. But yeah, I'm gonna get those studio exhibit ready. Um like really ready, and I just want to start I want to start making prints, originals, whether they be on, some type of like canvas or panel, wood panel, or whatever. And then yeah, more furniture pieces.
Amen to that, you
Yes.
will.
Mhm.
Yes, but
Yeah, I feel like I'm reliving everything all over again. Even the process of making the bookshelf, and I'm getting tired.
I'm tired, and I
You're
still have to
tired.
go pack and stuff.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
I'm
yes,
gonna hide
people.
his bag. I'm gonna hide the biggest bag.
Yeah.
It probably
Well,
wouldn't do me no good because he's a type that would be like, I'll just travel light, no big deal. And I'd be like, damn it.
but babe, you're forgetting one key element here.
What?
My destiny is literally in your hand, whether I take this trip or not.
What are you talking
You
about?
have to take me to Phoenix.
Oh.
Without you, there is no trip.
Mm.
Without you, there is no going
Oh no,
anywhere.
I slept in.
Uh huh.
Oh no, our alarm clock died.
Yeah.
I have to find a way to short out your cell phone.
Yeah. Good
No, I
luck at
wouldn't
that.
do that. No,
Uh,
I will not sabotage my own babe. Never ever do that.
nah, I'll be back soon.
No, I've been sad all day today. But
Yeah.
doing the Y Run podcast, I'll drop a link so you guys can check it out. But yeah, and I'm actually gonna be releasing this episode on Monday, so both episodes will come out. But I'll link each of them And you guys can go check it out. But doing that episode, it was fun. Like always, like every single episode I do with you is always fun, and it always brings me to a happy place and peace and all of that. So yeah, but
Ditto.
yeah, I was sad today,
Yeah.
and oh my gosh, I'm already seeing the bus drive off like right in front of me, and I'm just like sad, and it's like I have to go home like this.
Whimpering, hopping on one leg,
Limping, yes.
wounded.
Yeah, but and I was trying to think like I wonder if I should schedule an Amazon block and just stay the fuck out there and do my block. Pretend like I didn't have my heart broken and got left behind and make some kind of money, but yeah, I'm just missing you already, baby.
Me too, babe.
And thank you so much for helping me with my art, transporting and attending the event with me and capturing moments and eating pepperoni slices and cheese and
Starving.
yeah. Oh my god,
Starving
I'm
with you.
crying.
No.
No,
You're
it just
welcome
it
to
just
be.
means a lot, cuz I never had this much support with someone that I was involved with romantically, and I'm so happy that you're my husband, you're my best friend, you're my biggest supporter. Thank
You're welcome, babe. I love you. I'm proud of you.
you.
Keep
Thank
going.
you. I love you.
I love you too.
Yes. And I hope you'll come with me on more art struggles, art adventures. And I'll
Soon,
try to keep the struggles to a
you're gonna have to
minimum.
change the name to Art Struggles to Art Adventures.
No, everybody likes to hear a struggle.
um, Life is a struggle, but we gotta keep going.
Yes.
Can't give up.
Yes. But thank you, baby, so much for joining me on this episode.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. And to you artists out there, what are your art struggles and what is your have you guys ever attended or ever had your works displayed in a exhibit, excuse me, or art shows, things like that? What are your art struggles and do you what is your art community like? Is it a lot like the love and the support and the hugs and the information and like just the support, like what is it like, or what kind of support are you seeking? Because I know for me, like I that's what I've been looking for, like all this time, out and away from the Native American art community, and that's just what I strive for. I'm not knocking it or anything, but that's just this is something that feels a lot more better to me. It feels a lot more closer to home. It feels like home, and I feel like the support is real. So drop it in the comments. Let us know. I love to hear it. And if you want us to check out your art, go ahead and drop your handles to your website or portfolios. I love to check them out. And yeah, thank you so much. Don't forget to add, rate, comment, subscribe, follow, and share. And we will check you guys in the next Audie's Art Struggles podcast episode. Peace.